Hello and welcome to another NEH cast. As always, my name is Johno and I'm joined by James. How you doing, James?
Yeah, great.
So, it's getting exciting now. It's getting to the pointy end of the Oxford Championship. This is the winners' semi, so these two are undefeated in double elimination, and they are currently the top two.
Look at that sexy Kronos protocol playmat, Johnno.
That's right. And who's who's wearing that fancy mat? But our very own, it's Neil.
We'd like to claim him as a rating player, but we can't.
Otherwise known as is Vapo? I don't know, online. Vapo, right?
I'm not sure. I think he pronounced it Vapo.
Vapo, okay.
Which makes me wrong.
Okay, sure. Playing as NEH, and on the right we have the return of Ollie, who just can't get enough of being on camera, with his really good Leela deck.
In the immortal words of Al Davis, just win, baby.
He does just win quite a lot. Yeah, he's been very successful in the elimination so far.
Standard install to draw double ice from NEH. Pretty good opening.
Yeah, that's right. And Leela getting the economy up and checking R&D. So we've seen Leela's Ollie's Leela deck a couple of times, but we don't know much at this point about Neil's NEH. Did you play him on a day?
No, but as a avid NEH fanboy, yeah. I know what he was rocking. He was running 2 Biotic, 3 times Itchy, 3 times Lotus Field was his influence.
That's his influence, okay. So it's on Biotic and some nasty face checking ice.
Well, so Itchy is amazingly positioned right now because it's taxing at all levels. Whether you click through it, whether you pay for it with an Atman or something, or whether you use recurred one-shot breakers, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Just doesn't matter. You can get through it if you want. I think Neil's plan here is just going to be he just stacks them on R&D, and it's a massive pain.
Yeah, yeah. So we've always seen a couple of assets. Ollie leaves the pad, but he trashes DBS. He runs the mystery asset and trashes DBS, which is probably a good move.
Yeah, stops Neil getting set up as fast.
Yeah, that's right. An early DBS can be crippling.
So he saw a wraparound on top of R&D, and Neil will probably be pretty happy about that because he'll force a breaker.
That's right. So it's good rush ice.
It's just an amazing piece of ice.
It's also good against weird rigs, like AI-based rigs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Mimic and
Dirty
Laundry for some credits.
It's parasite resistant as well until they get the Fracture in play.
It's true.
Just another amazing yellow 1 influence card, Johnno.
You sound very jaded.
I love yellow, so...
Yeah, you're right. You sound like me. Right?
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of disgusting in some ways.
Another remote installed for MBN, possibly more economy, DBS, who knows, and more ice on R&D. 10 credit. So a double draw and installing security testing. Another draw set, a 3rd draw. So a fast Leela turn. But security testing, that's what you want against wide NEH, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
3 credits for a click every turn.
Did these guys see each other in the Swiss, you know?
I actually do not know. I have no idea.
So interesting that Ollie slapped down the Mimic immediately.
Oh,
suggests to me that he probably is worried about. He's probably worried about Architect, which Neil was not running.
Oh, I see, but
he's running 3 Itchy instead.
And Mimic's a good one to get down for face checking. It's good against Grail if he suspects NEH Grail.
Well, you need the whole suite for Grail.
Yes, that is true.
You don't want to put it down until you can put the whole suite down, or you can get it trashed from like a barrier or something.
That's true.
Is that a 2-iced remote from
Neil? A new remote, double iced, yeah.
That's got to be an Astro.
So you'd think it would be...
Or it could be a Santan.
You'd think it'd be an Agenda though, yeah.
It would be like Quandary wraparound. So he'll have like the 3 credits and then the 3 to score.
If nothing else, yeah. If nothing else, it'll be a score remote for the future. So check on HQ. So maybe he suspects it is a Sansan and wants to flush out the Agenda.
See if Neil Rez is here. It's probably a Sansan then, because you might just let him in at this point. If you wanted to score the Agenda. Or maybe he knows he can't get in and he'll res like another Quandary or something.
So he does it just for security testing wherever he fancies.
Sickening efficiency.
Yeah, very good. And second security testing.
I love this from Ollie.
Should he need it?
You can just security test both pad campaigns. It's great for tiding you over until the late game. If it's your only economy, like you can afford to run twice.
That's true.
Oh, loving the shipments.
So shipments, that's why he was happy to go down to low credits, because he had a shipment in hand. So,
only a Beal though.
But for a Beal,
times.
yeah, he's not rushed out, not exactly, but you'd really like that to be an Astro, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
but he's taking 2 point leads.
You might have been trying to draw out an inside job for all we know.
That's true.
I mean, you probably still don't want to lose the Beal. If he was confident, he might have gone. He might have gone to try and advance it. Scored out a 3-pointer, but.
So here comes Passport. So HQ is under threat from
wide open
from this.
Siphon, yeah.
Siphon fires.
I think Ollie will go and trash the 2 pad campaigns right now.
So he clears tags instead. He's got 2 screw testing. That might be wise. I mean,
Neil can't trash both of them.
well, he, yeah, with pads.
Well, if he trashed the pads, he couldn't.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I think that would have been my play, but Ollie is a much better player than I am. So, as we've seen on the day.
Yeah, he's very, very careful as well.
It's methodical.
You don't want to float tags unless you have to.
Yeah, well, we saw what happened to Gordon in one of the previous casts when he got a surprise Masanori tag.
Well, when you also if he trashed the pads, then he would have almost hoped that his security tests get trashed because they're useless. you
can still test Ollie's
do archives, but
oddly positioned archives.
No, that's normal play. Those archives to the left of R&D, right?
No,
from Neil. Oh, you build lefty.
I stick by the initial instruction booklet, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
In fact, so both these players play it what I would consider the wrong way around.
It's fine. It's all the same to me. Sometimes.
So taxing these assets.
So daily business and leaves it. He did have 10. You could trash it out of R&D, especially
I'm
if
still wondering whether he wants to trash these pad campaigns and try and keep Neil poor. He might leave one up, as you say, to double security test, but...
Yeah. So, I see more on R&D. I might have liked him to trash that daily business show, because you think he's now going to draw it, and if you've got the R&D interface down, you'd like to...
He might wait till...
to get a couple.
He might wait till Neil reses it. But at that point, then you have to make another click to access it.
That's true. You'd think he wouldn't res.
Half the point of the daily business show in an NEH deck is just to tax the runner to the point of breaking. If they have to leave them up, that's great for you. If they trash them, it's also good for you, because they're poor. That's one of the... I guess this was NEH at the height of its power.
That's right. So this, as mentioned in the previous video, this was before Santan cycle, so before Clock was released, which means there's a fair amount of fast advance still unchecked.
Here we go. It's the Itchy.
So there's that Itchy you mentioned.
I reckon the next one is also an Itchy, but he can't res it.
Okay, so just a Conjuring.
So Duke's the second card.
And a mystery card.
It's probably Ice or...
Yeah, Operation maybe. Worthless, whatever.
If only for Edward
So
Kim.
pop up on the remote. So not a super secure remote.
Yeah, it might...
But the wraparound will help.
It's probably... I think at this point we're probably sure it's a Samsung, right?
So he raises the wraparound going down to
DBS.
0.
Nice.
He raises the wraparound going down to 0 credits. So we had a slight ruling here because he wanted to take the pad credits and then raise the DBS. But because DBS doesn't trigger until the draw but there's not actually a window between the start of turn triggers and the draw. Somewhat surprisingly. So that means your last opportunity to res DBS is before start of turn triggers.
Right.
Which means that he didn't have the money at the time. So yeah, there was a little bit of discussion about this. It's one of those things. Ollie mentions that he's seen it before. Actually, he's seen this exact question come up before. Saw it online maybe. So yeah, that was something we learned. And to all viewers of this, you can learn this as well. We're an educational cast.
Oh, you'd know, Johno. You're the normal TO.
Yeah, I wish I did. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting interaction, I suppose.
Yeah, it's only because we went down to 0, having res the wraparound. Anyway, yeah, so it's a bit of a strange one. So we saw Brendan's arm leaning. He was the backup TO on the day, and Philip was the actual TO. So in this position, do we feel like NEH is on the front foot? I mean, so you've got the point advantage for sure, but
yes, because I don't think Ollie has a meaningful way to get through multiple stacked itchies on R&D.
okay. So
You'll have to burn fairies or spend clicks, but spending clicks doesn't help you if the second one is also an itchy, which I reckon it probably is.
yeah. Well, I mean, whatever it is, he's going to have to face check it. He can't go with click spare, that kind of
exactly.
thing. So, yeah.
I think Ollie's R&D lock is going to struggle this game.
So we've seen Ollie in previous videos. I, off the top of my head, cannot think of a solution he might have to strength 4 sentry though.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I hadn't seen
He's got fairy.
Oh, fairy. Okay, all right. Yes, that's true. We have seen fairy.
He might have a fem, but I'm not sure. But you can't deal with that, right? You can't use 2 fairies to get one run on R&D.
So as we mentioned, Ollie trashed one of the 2 pads. He left the other one.
Probably for security testing.
Probably to keep his security testing alive. And then at this time of asking, Neil does res the DBS. And suddenly there's no R&D lock here. I mean, R&D is safe and he gets to choose what he wants. So there's a real issue.
This is an amazing position to be in as an NEH player.
He decides to ice the pad campaign, presumably just for security testing reasons. I mean, he might try and trash it.
It's probably the quandary we saw earlier. It's just going to be a 1 credit tax.
Yeah, just something
and he'll then,
as a barrier.
He might just start stacking more assets behind it.
Well, it's a remote though, so he can't break a code gun.
Oh yeah, it's true.
But it might be...
So yeah, it might be the quandary and it might be good.
I mean, it might be or just a pop-up would stop, make security testing less efficient. So here's Corroder. So the DBS remote is now not safe.
I think I saw Ollie running Cerberus Rex. So I think he has answers to remote code gates. He might have been running Zoo as well.
So we have a full sweep, I guess, for the centrals, as long as your sentries are less than strength 3.
Neil's on the magic number here of 7 credits.
That's true. There's danger afoot. So he ices archives.
Yeah, he's consolidating his position, which
just
is
to,
very strong.
Again, protect against security testing, which, I mean, I guess we're a little way into this game now, and maybe he suspects this is a lot of the economy of Leela. Still just an NEH draw.
So we saw a bank job come out from Ollie in a previous game, but pretty much all the remotes are iced.
So Neil installed out a shot there, so this is going to take all my skill as a commentator to keep you apprised of what is happening out of shot. In a short while, I came over and I didn't give him a shouting at, not as such, but I gave him a gentle reminder to try and keep his cards in shot. But so we will let you know what happens out of shot anyway.
When you're playing on camera though, it's not easy.
You just forget. To know
exactly where the borderlines. They've got a bit more space at the top.
So that's right. He's got a lot of room at the top. So the table, as I mentioned in the previous video, the tables were very small at this venue, so we were a little constrained, and a lot of games bled over onto the next table.
Yeah, I mean, is that the edge of the table? We can see it at the bottom.
It is. That's right. Yeah. He runs the remote.
The Oxford
it's obviously Jackson. So he uses Jackson.
The Oxford regional venue was amazing. So much space on the tables. Puts back. He puts
that's
back
true.
The shipment,
yes. The regional
pad.
Yes. So that's right. It's pad shipment and a daily business show.
He was only running 1 shipment in this list.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just
you think it might get a couple of conclusions. So the card out shot was a Sansan, which Ollie runs and trashes. So I can update our viewers that there are now no cards out shot. But I will keep you apprised because it will happen again.
Silly NEH assets.
Exactly, and it's only a problem because things like pad are iced. if they weren't iced, then he could start stacking them up. Yeah.
Yeah, go sure, Neil. What are you doing? Icing all your remotes to protect them.
Exactly.
Such strong play.
Yeah, so it's fair to say there's a lot of ice for an NEH deck.
I think he was running 15 pieces, so he's seen quite a lot of it. I'm sure that that second piece of ice on R&D isn't itchy.
So we had another card installed out of shot, and it was installed. It was not a piece of ice. So he decides to security test both of them.
I'm really surprised Ollie hasn't gone in and trashed this DBS.
It's true he could. So
Neil's
then he checks for real, trashes the Sansan. So is that 3 Sansans in the bin? Maybe just 2 actually.
I think 2.
So, but he's on. Neil's on 8 credits. So Sansans are a risk. Yeah, and he's gone off for biotics. Should they be in his deck? And you reliably inform us that they are.
Yeah, they are. He's running 2.
So, not much going on for Leela at the moment. He's just able to pressure remotes, you know, security tests, then trash Sansan. So he's
been punished by the amount of ice.
He's been held back. That's
Neil
it. Everything's very taxing.
To accrue, and I think a lot of that was due to the daily business show.
So he rezzed their pads out of shot. So there's now 2 pads. So he gets credit, does his DBS.
That's
me.
A strong position. Yeah.
That's me. I let in. He was like, he's making you. But then he installed. Right. So I'm gonna have to describe it now. He installed another remote out of shot, and then iced the remote out of shot, and then advanced it. So he has an installed and advanced remote out of shot.
I guess Neil's desperately trying to draw agendas. Right
do you think it's an NAPD?
It could be a bluff,
I feel like it has to.
Probably an NAPD if you're looking at the credit situation on Leela's side.
That's right. That's right.
It's pretty much a safe scoring window.
So yeah, so I came back and gave him another shouting out. So he decides to shift everything over.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, I had to keep a good eye on him, so he just lives in there. There we go.
He had a great day. He had a great day.
He did have a good day. Yeah. And he's very gracious. I apologise if I came across as very brash when telling him to sort out his mess.
Yeah, Johno, you're just trying to professionalise and
I know.
Viewing experience for our loyal viewers.
It's an incredibly amateur operation, but I'll do my best.
I think you're underselling yourself.
So, screw testing into a lucky find. A burst for the Leela economy. Maybe that's should his resources fail him. He can kind of burst to surprise a little bit.
Yeah,
so accesses and still, thanks to lucky find then, was able to steal the NEPD contract.
I don't think Neil's too upset here.
Ollie actually forgot to bounce. He forgot to trigger Leela.
It always happens.
And it does happen because you forget. You get engrossed in the game and you forget. What would you bounce in this situation though?
The interior R&D ice. And then
you think? And then click on it? Because he's got the R&D interface.
It depends what click it is. Because you can't click through the itchy if it's...
Would you consider the HQ ice so you can... He might have a legwork in hand. That if he does, I think that's a good choice.
He has a full breaker suite. I guess he's worried about another itchy.
Yeah, maybe.
But I think the itchies just go straight on R&D and Neil's deck.
So breaking news rushes out. So NEH takes the lead again, back to 3-2. This time Leela does remember and bounces HQ. So do we think he might have a siphon or maybe a legwork in hand?
This would be a good time for either of those.
So I think he decides to screw his test the pad and he names HQ. So he's sure gamble.
Neil having to work without the Astro train.
So an HQ run. Sweeps weak.
Yeah, Neil's holding that back in case of siphon. It's good recovery.
So he starts to run HQ again. So, I guess he's looking for an agenda, but he'd like to trash Sansans, I guess. He'd like to find out if there's biotics at play.
I think he's just trying to clean his hand up a bit.
Yeah. So I didn't see what that one was, but it's obviously not actionable.
I think he's just running it, like you say, for information.
Yeah. So 2 pads and DBS. So, we haven't really talked about it, but Neil's got a really good engine. These pads are doing work, and DBS is obviously just a great card in NEH. So he's similar to how we saw in previous game with Ollie's RP. We have, he just lets the money trickle in, and he can use DBS to build up and choose when he draws the agendas.
Yeah, I'm really shocked that Ollie hasn't trashed the DBS here. It's giving Neil free reign over his draws.
I should mention again that there is another remote outshot. Because,
I think the shock of that itchy is over an architect splash is really holding Ollie back.
Yeah, Yeah, that's true, actually, and that is a really good inclusion because it has surprised. I mean, it's a deck that's not kitted for it at all.
Okay, so he's about to take the trace.
Yeah, that's right. So
Which is fine. Save a click.
So it's in fact, he beat the trace
Oh, it's a
by
Lotus
paying
build,
one.
right. Taxing enough for, I think it's 3 credits for a passport.
Yes, that's right.
Unparasitable.
So he accesses 2 cards, either which are stealable or trashable, or at least are not trashed.
I think Neil wants another
did,
issue right now.
He did manage to access the 4 credits, which is obviously a really good move because you could easily get an NPD. You need 4 new access. Yeah. I mean,
stupid.
There's no Astros come out. You must assume that no one hold him in hand.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it depends if he's not. He needs the fast advance tools, the economy, and the agenda.
Yeah, he doesn't have a.
But you'd think that with all the DBSing, he'd have managed to accrue that together right at this point.
I wonder what this ice on this open remote is. I mean, if it's a Quandary or something, you could. So, in fact, he does install a second ice on that remote and install behind it in advance.
This is a nice play from Neil. He's just trying to ruin Ollie's economy. I think he's happy to trade credits because he's got so much ice out. He has the drip feed. We know he's got a sweep still in hand.
That's true. So there's I should mention that there's still a remote out shot for those who are watching. So what's the position here for Leela? Do you give up an R&D? I mean, I guess you could click through it and spend a turn running, but
sadly, I think you have to try and force the ice res on this NAPD.
Yeah. Oh, you think it is an NAPD?
Yeah.
You feel like it has to be, right? But he's on 7 credits.
He doesn't have enough money. It's not going to work.
Anything he runs.
It's not resing. He might just res a Quandary here. That's another Lotus here. Yeah, he can't get in.
So that'll keep him out. Yeah. So he's got 2 clicks left.
But Neil doesn't have a lot of money now. He's got so much ice resed.
That's true. There's a lot of res dice, and he has a decent drip economy still coming in. So he's definitely got the advantage.
Yeah, you don't want this much res dice on the board as leader because it almost invalidates your ID ability.
Yeah, that's right. So he advances 3 times and scores. It is an NPD. Once again, Leela does not trigger. It's just basic stuff. I mean, I've also played as Leela, and I played it in a deck that was not always Leela, so I also forgot from time to time, but I feel like you want to drill it into yourself.
Yeah,
it's a tournament, you want to remember.
Yeah. It's one of the major benefits of playing this ID over, say, Andromeda or Gabe. It's one of the reasons she's so popular right now, or was popular. I think we didn't see a huge amount in the Oxford regionals. I think she's still the most represented criminal runner. Hopefully Philip will put the stats up.
Yeah, we'll find out. So, a couple of security testings, kind of build up.
Yeah, Ollie's got money again. He's probably okay with that. He's got the Desperado finally.
Yeah, Desperado's come down, so he's going to get extra credits from security testing, which is good.
We might see a sneak door here, but Neil's got ice over archives anyway. He might just ditch the passport.
Yeah. So Zoo helps for the remote though as well. That's the other thing he did.
Yeah, exactly. So he has the 5 memory now. I think Neil's playing from the top of R&D. The daily business show still lives.
You can just wait. I mean, this remote isn't safe though, so he has to wait for Sansan or Biotic.
I think he's waiting for a Biotic labour.
Yeah. I mean, he's on 5, so he does need 2. So it's breaking news isn't enough, for instance.
Yeah, it's one of the slight issues with the 2 Biotic build, is if you don't see them early, it's quite annoying.
So, same old Siphon. So, pop-up window and Quandary, not much of a barrier.
We might
so he's going to take his money.
We might see the sweet play here, but probably not.
He did not res whatever was outshot. Don't forget that there is a card outshot. He didn't res it.
So it's probably not a Sansan.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I mean, he's going to get 2 credits though.
You might not res it anyway
so,
if it's a Sansan.
And he may have game in hand. I mean, so he does in fact. So he has Biotic and Astro. He may have just drawn one of them with DBS.
I think he was waiting for the Biotic.
Yeah. So, Yeah, a fairly comfortable victory for Neil there.
Very smooth, in a really strong position and board state throughout the game.
That's it. And he, his amount of ice, he iced the assets to defend them, to let them get set up.
So taxing for Ollie. And Ollie, I think Ollie just like ran into that itchy and didn't really have an answer for it.
That's true, yeah. And so that itchy was a great inclusion, a great pice of ice.
And the threat
against that
threat of further itchies was what was really keeping him from rummaging through R&D.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that was the winner's semi. So to remind you how the structure of double elimination works. So Neil, who was the winner, will obviously play in the final. Ollie will drop into the loser's semi-final. So he'll play the winner who comes out of the loser bracket. So with that out of the way, there's a short break for the winners. So we'll be switching our attention in our next cast to the losers bracket, and we will see Tim, who we've seen in some previous videos.
A bit of a different NEH deck from Neil's.
In fact, he's playing Max in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, he's playing his other sides. Yeah, but we've seen Max as well in the previous game.
Yeah.
Against making his near Reading debut, Seb, a real favourite of ours, from Oxford.
He's an interesting player to play against.
So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video for that.